Namaste. Medicines for sustainable health of higher education in 21st century. Sustainable health for higher education is quite important. Indeed, it is very much necessary and it is required. Higher education's sustainable growth and development is not possible without looking into the latest National Education Policy 2020 and SDG-17. Myself, Professor Vedvyas Jayaprakash Narayanji Dwivedi from Indus University, Ahmedabad, Bharatvarsh. I would like to speak on how we can make the Indian higher education system sustainable and useful for sustainable growth of the entire society, especially concerning to 21st century. So higher education is a lifelong process. In fact, education is a lifelong process. And its most powerful tool to build value-based knowledge education, which can lead the country and the world towards becoming world leader, as India is seen today. In present scenario, India is seen as a world leader. However, it was in the past knowledge guru, world guru, Vishwa guru. Education is essential human virtue, a necessity of society, basic of good life, sign of freedom. It is important for integration of separate entities, what Bharatwaj says in 2016. This National Education Policy 2020 has been crafted to provide an interactive and flexible approach to education, keeping the interconnections of various phases of education. It envisages the society through technologically holistic and practically multidisciplinary education. As I told, UNESCO has already emphasized on education 2020-30 as a part of global movement to eradicate poverty through 17 sustainable development goals by 2030. Education as its own dedicated goal number 4, which ensures inclusive and equitable quality, gender equality, productive education, and it promotes lifelong learning opportunities for all of us. National Education Policy 2020 is an end-to-end educational roadmap for the country with a broad view of encompassing holistic development. It ignites the true potentials of each individual. Education 2030 framework for action provides a guideline for implementing this ambitious plan. Holistic and multidisciplinary innovative education system, that is HMIES, a process of preparation of mindset. It aims to develop all capacities of human beings that includes intellectual, ethical, aesthetic, socio-scientific, physical, emotional, normal integrity, moral integrity of all together. This kind of education system is going to help in developing well-rounded individuals that possess critical thinking skills, higher order creative skills. A well-educated and well-trained mindset seeks psychic delight, cultural harmony, physical outcomes, and spiritual elevation of sustainable thoughts. Therefore, there is a need of immediate calls on priority basis to take the initiatives for holistic, multidisciplinary, innovative education system. Steve Jobs is one of such examples who learned calligraphy. And due to his interest only. And then he utilized this art and skill for development of the fonts. And the world knows how successful Steve Jobs was. Therefore, by providing holistic education with more arts and humanities subjects, will develop a well-rounded person equipped with skills required in the 21st century. The children should achieve learning outcomes and should get motivation in depth so that they can learn in a better manner. So the subjects which we are offering should be on outcome based. That is what NEP 2020 also speaks out. Also, tremendous changes in the culture of education in 21st century is being dreamt of, such as syllabi, interdisciplinary subjects offering in groups, in subgroups, some topics, and so many things. But if all the subjects are working in watertight compartment, and the content changes as per nature of the subject, but holistic view cannot be gathered due to this. And therefore, nature of the subject, say psychology, or say science and technology, or law, is so wide, and it carries interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary approach with it. So by clinical interventions today, the situation is that it has created value prepositions. And it has become the preamble for the school education as well. Say forensic researches and criminal researches. Then with help of psychology and polygraphs and narcotics for clinicals. So that all needs the expertise. Though the say MSW subject, say engineering education, say multidisciplinary education, then they all are much needed. Now it is moving towards specialization, and it should not work in isolation. So the change should be in the culture of education. Techno-connected platforms enable the people from all disciplines to share their knowledge, work, such like Show the Ganga platform, where we can upload our researches, knowledge, and many people get benefit of it. But like Show the Ganga, much more platforms are required, so that say Ministry of Education and other responsible professional authorities and bodies can think on it, that like Show the Ganga, other platforms are required. For the holistic development and multidisciplinarity inclusion, the leadership of the educational institutions, the teachers in the education system have key roles to play, such as optimization of faculty and resources. Say in, if I take the private institutions and public institutions, in private institutions, the optimization is seen. But in public organizations, public institutions, somewhere this part is missing. So the leadership of the institutions should come forward and to see that the financial autonomy, smooth and steady, but steady decision-making process is in place. Self-evaluation part should be taken into consideration. The higher education institutions infrastructure is also a big challenge, where at some places, in some institutions, we see that it's very much congested, and there is less movement, there is less opportunities for interaction with the students or with the other stakeholders. So the design of the infrastructure should be like that, that people can interact freely, because more interaction, more learning comes in. So that is again a big challenge for all of us. because financial part is involved in it. Even the architecture people can think on it, so that the interaction can be enhanced, and that will give a clear-cut holistic learning. Knowledge sharing, because sharing means contributing means you are developing you are doing for all. So there are certain questions of subjects which are being offered. So interdisciplinarity and multidisciplinarity is quite important. Say a student from engineering, he or she can study psychology, geography, can go in home science to learn food and nutrition. So for the future, engineering student can understand their needs and design tools and devices accordingly. A computer engineer and software engineer can develop, say, some website, some application which will be useful for these people. Student of medical education can learn some engineering subject, so that today the entire world is transforming itself towards into technological technological world. Say education also has become a part of technology, because sitting geographically far away from one another, we are sharing these moments. So interdisciplinarity is going to ultimately play the role. Say tomorrow surgery using robots. So medical and engineering are going to be clubbed as far the interdisciplinarity is concerned, and many more things. Also, there should be the pool of elective subjects as far as specialization and interests are concerned. Say languages, yoga, sports, spiritual sciences, behavioral management, so that the soft skill, analytical skill, technical skills, and other higher order thinking capacities can be developed. Sometimes we see that the language of teacher is not that attractive and good. So the students are not in a position in the class to understand what the teacher of mathematics is teaching, if the language is not that correct and good as far and interaction is concerned, in the class delivery is concerned. So the language should be a part of our interdisciplinary subject as an elective subject. Also, need-based curriculum is going to be required for 21st century. Then only it can be said as a holistic multidisciplinary. Therefore, say a student from Ayurveda must study social sciences, must study psychology, philosophy, so that while treating the patient, he or she can understand the psychology of the patient, and so on and so forth. As far as the application of knowledge and focus of teaching is concerned, we know that remembering has been now not being appreciated. More understanding, more interactive sessions in teachings have been now called for. So skills are required where the student should go into the field for training, also for practical learning through experimentations. So experimentations are going to be now more, they are going to be allowed on a much better fashion than this one. The student, when going into the field for internship, they understand the real-time problem solving scenes in the field, and they can start understanding what research is, what innovation is, and from there they can have their own startups, they can become entrepreneur, they can become big, they can become a good manager, leader, technocrat. So all those things are possible only when they are in the field. So at least 6 months internship and training has been proposed and is being now adopted. Even the students are enjoying that life, internship life. They learn the reality of professional life. They learn teamwork. They learn how to cope up with the patients, and they become punctual and disciplined. Because in campus, when they are in college campus, university campus, they are not that punctual. Sometimes it is seen they are notorious because of discipline. Also, they get sometimes punished also. So when they are in the campus, they have liberty. But when they move from campus to corporate world, sudden transformation is seen in their behavior, in their professional life. So that is a part of teaching and learning when they are in the pre-final or final semesters. So this new education policy in the name of National Education Policy 2020, in line with SDG-17, is going to promote and encourage the stakeholders towards adopting this flexible, multidisciplinary, holistic education system. Teaching fraternity are required to be fully engaged. They love to be engaged, and the commitment, and they are committed to the students. So there must be some space to grow, freedom of movement, freedom of expression, sense of commitment be developed in them. Polite pride culture, I am proud of something, but simultaneously I should not be away from the politeness, and that the student learns indirectly when it is there in the teachers. Therefore, I summarize some of the points here on this occasion of international conference at Atmiya University, Rajkot, that this holistic and multidisciplinary education system is going to increase not only the creativity and innovation, creative thinking, and higher order thinking capacities as well, problem solving abilities, teamwork, enhance the communication skill, and also it will increase the social and moral awareness, along with knowledge to change the things for better moral awareness. Certain focuses are required to address some of the points which I have enlisted over here in nutshell. Crisis leadership and management, whether it is resource or it is facilities or it is outcomes. Responsible behavioral ethics for the corporate, campus to corporate governance to address the economic disruptions and resilience. ICT, artificial intelligence, machine learning, augmented reality, virtual reality, societal upliftment to raise the standard of livelihood. Continuous rethink tank must be there for strategic plans, executions, and policy initiatives to address the future sustainable business and entrepreneurial models. Engineering, production, inventory management, that should be towards green supply chain and green sustainability. Energy is the crisis, Optimization in healthcare operations, services, quality and project processes, and ultimately computer integrated IoT based manufacturing and services for transportation, oil, gas, energy, process industries, business management, defense weapons and material handling technology, and all that. What I delivered, I have referred some of the references. One is Joshi J 2022 from University News, and Bharadwaj from International Journal of Science Consciousness of 2016, and Ministry of Education 2020, National Education Policy, Government of India, and UNESCO SDG 17. So with these words, I take this opportunity to thank you all for patiently listening, and see you soon in future. Thank you very much.